Jimmy Breslin and the Media Frenzy, a CRTC summary of the one-year Deathday controversy. But first, excerpts from the Breslin letter. The infamous letter from serial killer David Berkowitz to New York Daily News columnist Jimmy Breslin was mailed on May 31st, 1977. It was later published in the Daily News on June 5th, 1977. Here are some excerpts from that letter. Tell me, Jim, what will you have for July 29th? You can forget about me if you like, because I don't care for publicity. However, you must not forget Donna Luria, and you cannot let the people forget her either. She was a very, very sweet girl, but Sam's a thirsty lad, and he won't let me stop killing until he gets his fill of blood. Remember Miss Luria. Thank you. In their blood and from the gutter, Sam's Creation, 44. The first Deathday article, a CRTC Summary. This archive will be available on the CRTC Archive and Deep Dive page on Facebook. To the .44 caliber killer on his first death day, July 28, 1977. An open address to the infamous .44 caliber killer on the first-year anniversary of the Luria Valente shooting. Breslin recounts the crime, and the column highlights the personal letter sent to him in June from the son of Sam. Breslin explicitly characterizes the killer as a deeply isolated, deranged loner and recluse who likely lives in a rooming house or YMCA. He posits that the killer is completely unable to form normal relationships with people, harbors deep-seated psychological distortions regarding women, and kills to satisfy internal voices. The piece vividly describes the atmosphere of terror looming over young New Yorkers. It contrasts the killer's solitary gloating with the profound grief of the victims' families and the immense pressure on the New York Police Department as they sift through thousands of public tips trying to track down a killer without a schedule or a face. Breslin's overall coverage of the Son of Sam case was highly controversial and remains a major flashpoint in the history of American journalism. While it was a massive commercial success for the Daily News, the paper sold a record-breaking 1.1 million copies on the day that the letters were published. It drew intense criticism from the public, law enforcement, and fellow journalists for several key reasons. 1. Accusations of baiting and encouraging the killer. Media critics and criminal profilers strongly condemn Breslin's approach. They argued that by addressing the killer directly in print and dissecting his ego, Breslin was irresponsibly feeding a narcissist's craving for notoriety and potentially provoking him to strike again to prove his dominance. 2. Glamorizing a monster. By giving the killer a front-page platform, Breslin was accused of turning a brutal murderer into a dark celebrity. Many felt that the theatrical prose crossed the line from informative reporting into sensationalist entertainment designed to sell newspapers. Years later, some New Yorkers openly criticized Breslin and the Daily News, viewing the massive profits generated from the city's collective terror as quote-unquote dirty money. 3. Becoming part of the story. Journalistic purists heavily scolded Breslin for breaking the wall of objective reporting and inserting himself as a main character in the unfolding tragedy. Breslin fiercely defended his coverage until his death. He consistently pointed out that the police wanted it printed. The NYPD explicitly requested that the media publish details of the letters because they desperately needed the public's help to generate leads and tips. He used his platform to demand a surrender. In multiple pieces, Breslin actively urged the killer to turn himself in. He highlighted the victims. As seen in this specific column, he used his signature style to vividly capture the grief of the victims' families to ensure the city didn't just focus on the killer. When pushed on whether he was personally responsible for fanning the flames of panic, Breslin famously retorted with typical New York bluntness. Blaming me for violent crime in New York is like blaming the Johnstown flood on a leaky toilet in Altona.